He has the lowest ERA among Phillies in the starting rotation. He's in the top 10 of lowest opponents' average with National League starting pitchers. He has dominated opponents in 4 of his 5 starts this season and has allowed just 3 runs in his last 24 innings pitched. Cliff Lee has everything he could ask for right now, except for a W. Well, so far, both sides have had bragging rights, at least for one game. The Phillies won Game 1. The Red Sox won Game 2. Now when you lay the cards out on the table, you have the final game of this 3-game series. And on paper, you probably have the best pitching matchup, Cliff Lee against Josh Beckett. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. The Phillies and the Red Sox will wrap up this installment of interleague play this afternoon on a gorgeous afternoon for baseball. And I guess you could say that we got a pitcher's duel, at least historically, you could say this is a pitcher's duel.
Well, they're 2 good ones, Tom, and they matched up here last year in a real good game. Cliff Lee was better, though, than Josh Beckett. Phillies fans hope the same thing will happen here today. Last year, on a late June night at Citizens Bank Park, Cliff Lee was dealing. He threw a 2-hit shutout at the Boston Red Sox. Got a little help there on a double play ball. But when you watch these highlights, you see he had all his pitches working. A change up there that he gets a double play on. He was using his cutter really well. That was another changeup and a really good play by Jimmy Rollins. He also used his curveball very effectively there for a 3rd strike. He did throw a few line drive and hard outs to end the game. In fact, that line drive right there to Polanco to end it. You see the emotion from Cliff Lee to shut out the Boston Red Sox in just a tremendous effort. How can this guy have not won a game when you look at those numbers? That's unbelievable to have an earned run average under 2, even though it's only 5 starts. Very few walks, as always, a lot of strikes. He is just so overdue to get a W. It's amazing.
And think about the opponent's batting average against. He's just not allowing a whole lot. We'll hope that continues this afternoon when he takes on the Red Sox. And Josh Beckett, you want to talk about an up-and-down guy. Beckett has been really good. He's also really struggled.
Yeah, he's a lightning rod, too, for controversy. Josh Beckett has been that way since he first came up with the Florida Marlins as a very high draft choice. Incredible talent. But last year, the Phillies got him in a game here, and that was the game he started against Cliff Lee. Dominic Brown with a home run to center field off Beckett, and then a fastball there to Shane Victorino, and he hit it way out to right center field. You just don't know which Josh Beckett's going to show up in a given ball game. The Phillies hope it's a guy that struggles a little bit. Look at how his years have gone. Broke in with Florida a long time ago, it seems like, and this is what he's done in the last few years with the Boston Red Sox. One year, of course, he was injured, but there's something about this guy that controversy just seems to follow him. He's a player, and they're a player in every sport. They don't have much of a censor. They basically say what they're thinking, and then they pay the price for it one way or the other.
His earned run average here at Citizens Bank Park is over 6. We'll see if that continues this afternoon. It's the final game of this series between the Phils and the Red Sox. And look at all the home runs that have been hitting this series so far, one after another. Not just by one team. Freddie Galvis hit a couple. The Red Sox had 4 in last night's game. Let's get to the starters in the first pitch when we come back. By Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. very entertaining all by themselves. I mean, think about last night's game and the opportunities that the Phils had. Today, they'll finalize this 3-game set. And, of course, the starting 9 out on the field before the start of this ball game, getting a chance to meet some of their favorite players. What a kick that must be for that youngster to say hello to Jimmy Rollins. And J-Roll getting an autograph. This youngster, probably one of the biggest surprises of his day, is being able to be part of the starting 9, get some rosin from Cliff Lee, and then, of course, get Cliff's autograph. And then as the national anthem was being performed, stand next to Cliff Lee as Lee was looking at the flag and the youngster was doing the same. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Red Sox. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Mike Aviles leaves it off at shortstop. Dustin Pedroia bats second. David Ortiz third. Adrian Gonzalez makes his 4th start of his career in the outfield. Will Middlebrooks is the third baseman. He'll bat 5th. Jared Saltalamacchia is 6th. And the bottom third of Nava, Bird, and Beckett. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee. And it's odd to say this, that Lee does not have a victory yet. And here we are on May 20th. He's 0-1 with a minuscule 1.95 earned run average.
He's really been taking some butt kickings out there, too. Look at those numbers to not have a win. You know, it goes back to a variety of things. The Phillies are scoring more runs now. So, you know, and then they blew a save the other day when he came out of the ball game. Earlier in the year, they just didn't score for him. So, you know, this guy is a quick worker. He's a strike thrower. There is overall numbers against the Boston Red Sox. You saw in our opening that he pitched a really good game against them here last year at Citizens Bank Park. Time now for the Nissan keys to the game. A beautiful, sunny, breezy afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park. And, you know, the Phillies won the series here last year, and they certainly would like to win this entertaining series, play a good game here this afternoon. At the same time, get Cliff Lee a win.
Charlie Manuel's team last night had 15 base hits, but the Red Sox hit 4 home runs, including one by this guy, Mike Aviles, who leads it off for Boston against Cliff Lee.
We hadn't seen much of this guy, Tom. Does he like to swing at the first pitch?
First career leadoff home run in last night's ball game, and he swings at the first pitch again and fouls it away.
I was watching it last night thinking, you know, Friday he had swung at the first pitch, it seemed like almost every time. Last night he was doing it again, and here he comes right out of the chute.
Well, pretty good numbers this year. 272 with 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. The start of the year, I think everybody expected that he would share the shortstop position with Nick Punto. They got rid of Marco Scudero. And that ball's hit well. Left field. Pierre going back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's his 2nd career leadoff home run. He leads off his 2nd consecutive game with a long ball.
Well, we didn't mention, you know, we just got started. We didn't have time to talk about the way the wind is blowing a ton to left field today. So look out. That was a pop-up that blew out of here, basically. He really didn't hit it all that well. Hopefully the Phillies will hit something the same way today. Last night, they hit some bombs out of here, but a lot of wind to left. There was no batting practice, so you didn't get a chance to see if the ball was carrying. See, that ball's right off the end of the bat. And look at the flags blowing out to left field. But certainly good enough to hit it into a couple rows and give them a quick lead again.
So Dustin Pedroia is now the batter. Pedroia is 1 for 9 in the series so far. A .302 hitter with 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Takes a breaking ball and tries to take a whack at it, and it's 1 ball, or no balls and 2 strikes.
I feel the wind blowing in the booth so much today. As you look at Joe Bland, who gave up 4 last night, you wondered if the wind was going to carry the ball to left field or not, the way those flags are blowing, and now we know it will.
Swing and a miss, and there's the first strikeout for Cliff Lee. So 1 out here in the first, and that'll bring David Ortiz to the plate. Well, the comparisons between these 2 starters here at the ballpark. Cliff Lee has thrived here at Citizens Bank Park. Josh Beckett, not so much. He's had 1 or 2 decent starts, but overall not too good.
Well, he can be a fly ball pitcher, depending on you know, how his stuff is that day. Today would not be a good day to be a fly ball pitcher to right-handed hitters.
David Ortiz takes a fastball for a strike. Ortiz homered in last night's game. He's 2 for 6 in the series. He had a long one to center field. That was after the Phils had pulled to within 1, 5-4. And he rockets one down the right field line foul.
Yeah, there were no cheapies hit here last night. Boy, they hit some long ones. Mick Billmeyer said the one that Saltalamacchia hit the 2nd home plate out in the bullpen. As far as it could go into the bullpen.
There's Joe. Charlie Manuel, after the Phillies had pulled within 1 last night, he just didn't want to go to his bullpen if he didn't have to, and thought that Joe still had something left in the tank. But Joe said that his command was off as the night moved on. Schneider hangs on. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lee. And there are 2 outs here in the first with the Red Sox up 1-0.
Yeah, that's one of those great second-guess moments that are so much fun in baseball. You know, if Blanton goes out there and pitches another inning or 2, you don't even think about it. When he did, then it was, why didn't you take him out? And the reason was obvious, that he did not want to go to his bullpen in the 5th inning with a bunch of guys that are 1-inning pitchers out there, and a lot of them are really young and inexperienced. He just thought he'd go with a guy who has been pitching really well and who had a bad night last night.
He did get a good bullpen work, though, out of Raul Valdez, Joe Savory, and, of course, Contreras.
Right, and Charlie said, now, wouldn't that have been nice to know ahead of time that that's what would happen? He says, well, you don't know that that's what's going to happen. It did, but anyway, it blew up.
1 ball, no strikes, the count to Adrian Gonzalez. And it's 2-0. Gonzalez is tied for second in the league with 14 doubles. David Ortiz has 15. There's a base hit up the middle. It's just his second hit of the series. So a 2-out single. That'll bring Will Middlebrooks to the plate. Middlebrooks also homered in last night's game. In fact, he and Saltalamacchia went back-to-back. .277, 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Kevin Youkilis continues to rehab in the minor leagues. They expect him back shortly. He's been nicked up with a stiff back, and then they'll have to decide what they're going to do. It seems like Youkilis will take over third again, but a lot of speculation of what the Red Sox could do, because Middlebrooks, at least for now, has done an okay job. Down at the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
He got off to a really hot start, tailed off a little bit, but showed what kind of power he has when he hit that ball away from him last night, deep to right center field for a home run.
The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Lee. He allows a couple hits, including a leadoff home run. So the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first. First licks for the Phils when we get back. Charlie Manuel's starting lineup is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Juan Pierre's it's left field, he'll bat second. Then Shane Victorino. Hunter Pence is in right field, he'll bat cleanup. Ty Wiggins in good numbers against Beckett, he'll hit 5th. John Mayberry 6th. The bottom third of Galvis, Schneider, and Cliff Lee. And they'll face now 32-year-old right-hander Josh Beckett, who's been in the league so long he pitched at the vet. Not too many guys left that have pitched at the vet.
Yeah, and he was the 2nd overall pick. And that year, who was #1 in the whole country? A guy that they thought, well, that's going to turn out to be a huge mistake. What a flop, Josh Hamilton. And for a while it was.
see Beckett's numbers: 3 and 4, a 4.97 earned run average. He's coming off a 7-inning, 9-strikeout, no-run performance his last time out.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get from Beckett right now at this point in his career. He still has a plus fastball. Always had a great curveball, and he's starting to throw a lot more changeups in the last few years.
Rollins will lead it off. And Jimmy takes low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Jimmy's 1 for 8 in the series. The one hit was last night. It was an infield hit in the 8th inning that led to a run for the Phils, and they were knocking at the door the last handful of innings last night and only get the 1 run.
Well, they kept getting 2 men on base on singles, inning after inning after inning, then hitting into double plays. Great play in the outfield by Sweeney.
Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jim Mack of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Jim will win $100.
That game was really entertaining last night.
Outside corner, 1-2. Ryan Sweeney, by the way, who made that great catch, may not be available today. That catch caused concussion-like symptoms for him today.
Yeah, so he got his bell rung on that.
And a curveball called strike 3.
You don't want to see him get that over.
I don't know if it was.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. But normally when he gets that over, he's really tough. Well, you see him catch on the other side of the shin guard like that. Normally it's not a strike.
So Beckett with 36 strikeouts now in 42 innings of work will face Juan Pierre. Juan's only batted 9 times against him. He's 2 for 9 in his career against Beckett.
Of course, it's not where he catches it. It's where it crosses the front of home plate. When you catch it that far away, though, would have had a tough time crossing the front of the plate.
Pierre bunts it. He may have been out of the box. Nope, they're saying he was still in the box. So 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's what Beckett wants to know, too. He's going to have a little conversation there with Emmel.
Crew chief is Gary Darling. He's over at third base. Jerry Meals at second. Scott Barry at first. Paul Emmel behind the plate.
Check it out for yourself. See in the box?
Yep.
Yep.
Most of Pierre's at-bats have come against a right-handed pitcher. Although he had a hot stretch, so they kept him in against lefties a few times in the beginning of May. And he's got the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Polanco can't go today. He's not in the lineup.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Orioles have won 5 straight. They're on top of Washington 1-0 as that game's in the bottom of the first. Nick Markakis had a good top of the first for Baltimore.
That is Steven Spielberg.
Steven Strasburg. That ball's hit well to left field. Going back on it is Nava, and he tracks it down.
You doubt the wind now? Pierre doesn't hit a ball that far to left field. Steven Strasburg.
Well, 2 outs, and here's Shane Victorino. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Strasburg, Philly's going to miss him, of course, with him pitching today. And they'd miss Spielberg, too, if he weren't here.
But they would never miss a movie.
No, they're pretty good flicks.
Here's Victorino. Shane 3 for 7 so far in the series. Three for 10 lifetime against Beckett, including the home run which we showed you during the open.
Hit that off a fastball last year to right center. Beckett went 6 innings in that game, gave up 5 earned runs, and Cliff Lee shut him out on 2 hits. They already have more runs off it.
There's a changeup, 1-2 the count to Victorino.
It's that changeup he came up with. You know, he first came up, he threw real hard and a curveball. And then he started to add that changeup to his repertoire. He'll throw a two-seamer once in a while, too. And, you know, Beckett just has great stuff.
Off the end of the bat, out towards shortstop. Aviles behind the bag, slings the throw in time to get Victorino. 6-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 go the Phillies. A 14-pitch first inning for Beckett. We go to the second. Here at Citizens Bank Park. Budweiser, through the Walk Off a Hero program, will donate $5,000 to Folds of Honor for every Phillies walk-off win. Please join Budweiser and the Phillies in honoring those who keep our nation safe and free. It's that kind of day. Picture perfect afternoon here at the ballpark. Phillies will take on the Washington Nationals tomorrow night. They won't head back into interleague play for a couple weeks. Jared Saltalamacchia will lead off for the Red Sox here in the second.
Yeah, they do this every year. They have this first weekend. They kind of call it rivalry weekend. You know, not every game can be a natural geographical rivalry, but, you know, there's some few working.
Saltalamacchia takes outside. It's 1-0. Oakland and San Francisco is one.
Yeah, and then, you know,
the White Sox and the Cubs the other.
Right. There'll be a few more later on. The Dodgers and the Angels will play, right?
Dodgers and Angels, Yankees and Mets.
Right.
Texas and Houston are playing this weekend.
Right. There's, you know, another one they're trying to make a little bit. And the Phillies and the Red Sox have been playing each other a lot. But this Saltalamacchia coming back from what he did on Friday and having that kind of game last night.
Yeah, 12 stitches after the game Friday night. Played yesterday and out there again today. Swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He swings a little different right-handed than left. Doesn't mean he can't do damage right-handed, but just looks more dangerous as a left-handed hitter. A lot of times these guys that switch hit, you watch their swings and, you know, left-handed, they're down, they're low ball hitters. Right-handed, they're more of a sweep swing, like they want the ball up in the zone.
3-2 pitch. Fouled it away. Saltalamacchia, this is only his 13th at bat against left-handed pitching. He's 2 for 12 against lefties so far this year. The Marlins have taken a 2-0 lead over the Indians. Greg Dobbs is going to get more playing time as a double and an RBI. Another strikeout for Lee. It's number 4 right into the chute here in the second. One away. Daniel Nava is the hitter. Speaking of the Marlins, Greg Murphy is here with an update. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Yeah, get you updated on the major leagues on the Gwynedd Mercy Major League Notebook. Marlins center fielder Emilio Bonifacio landed on the DL. He sprained his thumb, stealing second base on Friday night, so they recalled Chris Coughlin from the minor leagues. And also Cardinals first baseman Lance Berkman is on the shelf as well. He injured his right knee on Saturday. He'll have an MRI on Monday. And Manny Ramirez has started his comeback to the major leagues. He started a 10-day minor league rehab stint for the Oakland A's. He went 0 for 4 in his first game. Manny Ramirez will turn 40 years old, guys, on May the 30th, trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, in fact, the 30th is when they anticipate he'll be back. What was it, 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts, right, Murph?
0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so not exactly a great debut for him. But he says he feels good and he knows what he needs to do to get back to the big leagues. Now it's just a matter of doing it.
All right, no balls and 2 strikes the count to Daniel Nava, and he takes low. It's 1-2. By the way, the Marlins also made news yesterday. Gabby Sanchez, surprisingly, was sent down to the minor leagues. Sanchez was an all-star last year.
Well, you're saying Dobbs could get some more playing time, huh?
That's what they said. Ooh. Just off the outside corner.
Gabby Sanchez, you said, was an all-star, Tom. Then after the all-star break last year, he really struggled.
Well, the Marlins said that he put on some weight, and his bat just not because of the weight, but his bat just wasn't the same. Hitting under 200.
Yeah, you get near the end of May and guys are hitting under 200, then you get a little anxious with them, depending on who they are and what their history has been. Like Ugla last year, he was hitting way under 200, but his history was such that the Braves just stayed with him. Then he started to hit a lot of home runs and did a good job for it.
3-2 the count to Nava. Just missed outside, so after working ahead, Lee loses him. First walk of the day, only the 5th walk of the year for Cliff Lee. If you're hitting the road this year, take the Phillies with you this season. It's really easy to do. You can go to MLB.tv or Phillies.com, and you can order the MLB.tv package. For more information, go to Phillies.com. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. With 1 out and 1 on, Marlon Byrd steps in. Marlon came in last night for defensive purposes into center field. They moved Ryan Sweeney to right and then Adrian Gonzalez to first. So David Ortiz was done in the 9th. Marlins out there today, partly because there's a lefty on the mound. The other part was because of what happened with Sweeney last night on that play in right center field. Bobby Valentine down a little bit outfielder wise, so the Red Sox have recalled Che Xuan Lin.
Nice, good job
from Taiwan. Through the hole, base hit for Marlon Byrd. 3rd hit of the day for the Red Sox.
A lot of reasons why the Phillies didn't win that game last night. All the men left on base, but what a play by Sweeney. There's 2 on, and Padilla flips up one of those grenades that he used to throw when he was here and drive Larry Bowen nuts. And Ruiz hit it to deep right center field. And look at that play by Sweeney. Tom mentioned he got his bell rung on that play. And they were testing him today for concussion-like symptoms. I mean.
Well, now Josh Beckett.
How did he catch that ball?
It did hang up there for a little bit, but he did a great job. Lee's off the mound. They got to play at 3rd. There's 1, and Wigginton will hang on to the bag. So 1-5 on the putout.
That's a really good job of communication there. Now, that one wasn't real tough because it was bunted so hard back to Lee that Wigginton could get back to 3rd in a hurry. But sometimes, they get in between on that, and then they'll hesitate and it's too late and everybody's safe. But watch it. Beckett does not do a good job. It's bunted right at Cliff. No doubt where he wants to go. He's got all kinds of time here, too. And Wigginton was under control at the bag. It wasn't like he was backing up at the last minute.
So Lee and Wigginton make the play for the 2nd out. And back to the top of the order for Mike Aviles. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
About him swinging it early the way he does, and then he just took a pitch and he threw it right down the middle to him. It's like he knew he was going to take one.
Although his average with runners in scoring position is down since the 1st of May, he has hit in 6 consecutive ball games overall.
One of those guys holds the bat so high, it's hard to believe he can get his hands down in the zone to hit as effectively as he has been. You got to be quick with your hands to do that.
Now it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Cliff with 21 pitches this inning, 36 so far. It's already his 3rd 3-ball count. Fly ball down the right field line. It's going to slice toward the seats and out of play. So it's back to 3-2. Schneider will bring the baseball out for Cliff. The runners will go back. They'll be off on this pitch. Marlon Byrd at second. Beckett at first. Three-two pitch. Another foul ball. I guess the thought of playing every day has helped Aviles. Sometimes just the thought of being out there kind of relaxes you. It gives you the ability to put up those kind of numbers in a short period of time. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And we'll do it again. Beckett barely even left the first base bag. He's decided, you know what, I'm not going to expend any more energy. He keeps fouling these balls off with the count 3-2.
Aviles is really late on these fastballs. It's almost like he thinks he's going to get off speed on 3-2 and he's fouling pitches off.
Let's see what Lee decides to throw this time. Another foul ball. This one behind the backstop and out of play.
All fastballs around 92, 93 and late on them, but able to make contact.
We ran this stat out to you last time Lee was on the mound. Since the 1st of June of last season, his 1.66 earned run average is the lowest among major league starters. Johnny Cueto of the Reds is after him. That's how good he's been. The 3-2 pitch again. Through the hole, left side, a base hit. Bird's on his way home. He'll score. And it'll be 2-0 Boston. So Aviles has both RBIs, and he wins the battle against Cliff Lee. A 9-pitch at bat. But it's 2-zip Boston.
There's another fastball. That one he was on and hit it hard in the hole. See, it was supposed to be away. It was a little bit more towards the middle of the plate in, and he hit it hard in the hole, left field.
So he's now 5 for 11 in this series.
Cliff Lee's going to have to settle down a little bit because, you know, all these foul balls, all these pitches, 41 pitches already, and you're not out of the 2nd inning. This is like an old Boston team. Boston and the Yankees, when they used to go back and forth, play those 4- and 5-hour games, they had so many long at bats, so many walks, foul balls. It's the way their teams were put together. And this one's starting out this way today. They would get the starters out quick in games.
Ball, 1 strike to count. Now 2-1. We go up to Toronto, where the Mets have a 4-2 lead over the Blue Jays. Mike Baxter has a double, a triple, and an RBI. Blue Jays have won the first 2 games of that series. The American League has the advantage so far this weekend in head-to-head games.
One of the better changeups he's thrown so far. A lot of fastballs so far in this game, and boy, Pedroia was locked in on one there.
Runners lead off first and second. And a breaking ball hit toward third. Wigginton has it. He'll take it the easy way to third. And the side is retired, but the Red Sox do score a run on 2 hits. They leave 2. On to the bottom of the second. It's Boston 2 and the Phillies nothing. It's a different kind of morning show with a perfect blend of news and entertainment. Get all your local weather, traffic, and trends on Eye Opener. Weekday mornings from 6 until 8 right here on PHL 17. Phillies down 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Still looking for their first base runner against Josh Beckett. Red Sox fans, they won last night, and now Mike Aviles has given them a 2-0 lead with a home run and an RBI single. Hunter's 3 for 7 so far in the series. He did something last night that was just odd even for him. He bunted to get on in the 9th inning. And it was a beautiful bunt to help start that rally that the Phillies were trying to get going against Alfredo Aceves.
Second bunt hit of his career. The other one was the Astros.
0-2 the count.
Yeah, and then unfortunately line drive double play followed after that. He got caught in between. You know, it's the primary thing there is not to make an out, not to break up the double play, in my opinion. So, you know, he shouldn't have got doubled off on that, but he did. It happened.
1-2 the count.
Or if it's bobbled or something, then you got to get trying to get the second. But the one thing you don't ever do in that situation, you're down by runs, is get line drive on the other side of the diamond. Behind you, different story. There's nothing you can do about it.
I couldn't tell initially whether Aviles had caught that on a short hop or not, or if he caught it out of the air. A little different look for Hunter. Not the stirrups, just the regular socks with the Liberty Bell. 2-2 the count to Hunter Pence. And he rips that one over toward third. Diving stop by Middlebrooks. His throw is not in time. Last night he made a play that he backed up on that he hesitated on. That one was a clean play all the way around, but Pence's speed just beat it.
Yeah, not much he could do about that. He makes a great play there. Now he stands up and he has to wind up the fire. Got a lot on it, and Pence just beats the play. 9 times out of 10, Middlebrooks is going to get an out on that play, but Pence is a plus runner. Full extension. He popped up pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, he did. A leadoff single. Now Ty Wigginton, who's 10 for 32. Lifetime against Josh Beckett.
See him get one up in that win. You have a tie game.
Wigginton's average at 260, 2 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Threw a changeup to him, and now it's 0-2.
Hasn't used his curveball much today. Fastball changeup so far. Good curveball to Jimmy Rollins to strike him out looking in the first inning. This is more like what we remember him last year. A lot of fastballs and changeups.
It stays alive by fouling that one over the first base dugout. His numbers in interleague play, 280. Now he's bounced back between the American League and National League. American League with the Orioles. He rips that one toward third. Nice play on one hop for Middlebrooks. That's going to be a double play. He robs Wigginton of a base hit and then turns a 5-4-3 double play. Now there are 2 outs. Well, Ty hit it hard.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that. That's just a bullet on one hop. Once he caught it, it's a dead double play ball. Joy is really good at turning it down there too under pressure, and at that time there was no pressure to worry about. Wasn't enough time.
So now with 2 outs, here's John Mayberry. Mayberry has his average up to 257. He did his job last night to try to get the Phils some runs. He kept getting on base.
Yeah, he had a good game.
He was batting in the number 2 spot last night with the lefty John Lester on the mound. Phillies got 8 hits off Lester and 4 runs over 6 innings.
They put a lot of pressure on Boston last night and just couldn't catch him.
Yeah, the 0-1 pitch to Mayberry. Curveball inside.
Phillies have been going through a stretch of scoring first in a lot of games. And Red Sox scored first last night. First on all 3 games in the series. He's running out the curveball all of a sudden. So Josh Beckett make either his major league debut. I think it was anyways against the Phillies in relief. He's had 3 games in relief in his career, and 2 have been against the Phillies.
Mayberry tries to hold. They appeal. He went around, says the first base umpire Scott Barry. Second strikeout for Josh Beckett. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Middlebrooks didn't get the base runner the first time. He got him the second time, though, as we go to the 3rd. question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels on July 24th, 1995. The Phillies traded Dave Hollins to the Red Sox for what player? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. You got this one, don't you?
No, I don't.
Now, when you just dropped your head, were you looking at something?
Nothing was going to help me.
David Ortiz takes strike one.
Oh.
Can we help you?
Sorry. Just thought about somebody.
1 ball and 1 strike to count.
I'm going to write it down right now. You're not going to see it.
All right.
But this is going to be my guess, and I'm going to stay with it.
Ortiz lines it towards shallow right where Freddie Galvis is playing. That's scouting right there, folks.
That'd be a long way to throw Big Papi out from, too.
He almost did it last night.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a little farther in last night, but it was pretty close to that spot.
Look at the way David Ortiz is swinging the bat. Hey, a little short fielder, that 10th player in softball, comes in handy today. Ortiz, yeah, well, what are you going to do? I'm not going to turn into a guy that hits the ball left field at this point in my life.
Adrian Gonzalez is now the hitter. Gonzalez takes strike one. I think it was the New York Times. It might have been another publication that wrote a story about the shifts that are going on in baseball, how many there are. That, and it all began, well, you could say that it began really around the same time with guys like David Ortiz and Jim Thome, people like that.
Bonds.
Barry Bonds. But it was done back in the olden days of baseball a little bit.
Well, some teams do it a lot more. They say on paper nobody does it more than the Rays.
Right.
When statistically they can break everything down nowadays, it seems like. And they say the Rays, they're the team that leads.
See, now Gonzalez you can't shift on because he hits the ball every which way.
And always has.
He's 2 for 2. Well, tomorrow begins a 3-game series between the Phillies and the Washington Nationals. All 3 games are at 7:05. The Nationals are in a little bit of a skid right now. They trail today 3-0. They've lost 3 straight, but it's still going to be a really good matchup. So watch the Phils and the Nationals battle it out.
Bring that Gio Gonzalez in here tomorrow night.
Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for all 3 of those games, including the Hatfield Dollar Dog Night.
I never pitched for the Phillies, but at one time was their property for a little while.
Middlebrooks lines one toward left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Off the base of the wall. Gonzalez goes to third. He'll stop there. It'll be a double for Middlebrooks. And now the Red Sox have something cooking here in the 3rd. It's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Yeah, Cliff just not sharp this afternoon. A lot of pitches are in the middle of the plate. And, you know, when he's on, you can always tell that he's on because he's on the corner so much. But that's a cutter. It's down the middle. And boy, the wind picked that thing up. Look at it. It's going to hit at the base of the wall on the fly. And he crushed that thing out there.
Well, the Phillies will play the infield back to get it out. They'll concede the run.
They really need a strikeout here, and he got a strikeout on this guy last time.
Yeah, 1 of 4 strikeouts today for Cliff. And that ball's in the dirt. Schneider blocks it. 1 ball, no strikes.
Coming into this inning, he had 46 pitches, 8 foul balls already. So, you know, the foul balls are starting to build up, too, to add to his pitch count.
It's now 55 pitches for Cliff. Saltalamacchia, his strikeout his last time up means he's 3 for 7 now in the series. He's driven in 16 so far. That one's a fly ball to center field. That's pretty well hit. Going back on it is Victorino, and that one is gone. Long gone onto Ashburn Alley. well over 400 feet, a 3-run home run, and it's 5-0 Boston. That ball was crushed.
You hit the ball in the air today, this place is going to play really, really small. And that's just seeing that line drive before that, the way it took off and hit the base of the wall at the 387. And now, you mentioned Cliff is in the middle of the plate a lot today. There's another one supposed to be away, right on the barrel of the bat. And it got up into that jet stream and added about another 50 feet to it. It's gone anyway, but it is flying out there today.
Not too many balls have been hit out in that area.
No.
That's the kind of power you'd see from Orion Howard out toward Ashburn Alley. Nava fouls it away off to the right. So 5-0 Boston.
So last thing you expect, of course, is for Lee to come out and get lit up. But every once in a while it happens with him. But what a lot of credit that Saul Lamakia, not him, but Saul Lamakia deserves after what happened to him on Friday. They got to put, those guys have to have them and have him in their teammate Hall of Fame right now. Show that kind of courage.
Again, he had 12 stitches after getting hit by a ball that hit Ty Wigginton after Friday's game and played last night. And of course is out there again today.
And at that position, especially to catch. Of course, anybody that does that is tough anyway. You have to be.
1-2 the count to Daniel Nava.
The only good thing about it, still early, and the way that it's flying today, you know, you all of a sudden start to shut these guys down a little bit. You can hit some yourself. You won't hit many further than that.
To center field. Victorino started back. Now he comes in to make the catch. So 2 outs. That was the 4th full count already for Cliff. There's the injury we're talking about. The ball ricocheted off Wigginton, off the shoulder of Salt Lamakia, off his left ear, and it caused a laceration in his left ear. He left the game. Was stitched up, 12 stitches.
This is the way he had to have his bell rung. The ball hitting you like that. Think about getting your ears boxed.
Had a little band-aid over that cut yesterday, and he was fine. 1-1 the count to Marlon Byrd.
I was thinking, you know, to go out there and play, just shake the cobwebs out after something like that happens.
Marlon Byrd lines it right at Freddie Galvis, who makes a nice play to the glove side. So the inning is over. Galvis makes the first and last out. The right in the middle. 3-run home run by Jared Saltalamacchia gives the Red Sox a 5-0 lead. To you by McDonald's. Get a large sweet tea for $1. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Well, the Phillies have some catching up to do against Josh Beckett thanks to Jared Saltalamacchia. His 3-run home run has made this a 5-0 game. So now as we go to the bottom of the third, it'll be 7, 8, 9 for the Phillies against Josh Beckett. Freddie has moved up to the 7 spot with Brian Schneider batting 8th today. And the first pitch changeup is over for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Easier said than done against a really good pitcher like this, but you have to try and just peck away at it a little bit. Not try and get it all back right away.
Slaps it to the left side. Aviles has it on the backhand and not in time. Galvis is aboard. Infield single. Second infield single of the day for the Phillies.
Good way to peck away at it. Just get some base runners and somebody pop on. You can hit some today. Freddie Galvis is an average runner, not a real fast runner, but you know that's a tough play for the shortstop. As Tom used the term surrounds it, you have to come from an angle, backhand it, throw on the run like that, and the guy that can run a little bit can beat a play like that, especially if you start out pretty deep the way that he did.
Fastball for strike to Schneider. It's 0-1. Brian is 10 for his last 25, which has raised his overall average to 303. Among those numbers includes a home run.
Haven't seen a ball in the air hit decently to right and right center today. See what's going to happen if they're going to get knocked down. You would think they would.
You got 2 candidates coming up here. You got Schneider and Lee.
Right. Well, look at that. You know, you've talked before that sometimes you can't trust the flags.
Right.
I think you can trust them today. It just seems like it the way that it's carrying to left and left center.
I think he fooled him on that pitch.
Yeah, just a little. Just you get fooled that bad, you might just keep on swinging.
Popped him up. Nobody can see it. Saltalamacchia can't see it. Here comes Beckett, and Beckett makes the catch.
Not that spot.
With a little Alfonso Soriano hop at the end. And there's one away.
What a great play by Beckett. The wind got that thing and started blowing it in a different direction, and Saltalamacchia had no idea where it was. And Beckett saw right away. Third baseman Middlebrook may have gotten there. Makes a little off balance. Now he's looking like, I don't know where it is. And then by the time he saw it was too late. How many pitchers are going to make that play? Jamie Moyer. Here's a look at it. Now watch Beckett right away. He knows where it is, and he sees his catcher's in trouble. So he's saying, well, I'm an athlete. I can come get it.
So he had that little hop. Remember Soriano was in that mode where he was hopping around every time he made a catch?
Beckett just did that because he was off balance. That was some play. You feel, you know, you deal with a pitcher, I think, you got no sunglasses. Come on, Josh, you're not supposed to do that.
Cliff Lee showed butt and whacks it foul. It's no balls and 1 strike. Opposite way, base hit for Lee. Galvis is on his way to third. Lee's on his way to second, and he's there sliding.
How about these athletes for pitchers that are out there today?
Went to the back end of the second base bag to get away from that tag.
I'm telling you, these pitchers are athletes. Well, some guys are.
First double of the year for Lee.
Great slide. Here it is. Just reach out and pokes it. They're going to play him way off the line. Clanks off the concrete down there. Nice play by Nava. Now Cliff Lee says, oh boy, I'm down by 5. I better not be out at second.
He's safe at second, safe and secure with New York Life. The Phillies have a chance to get on the board here. Rollins the hitter. He's 0 for 1. Jimmy takes a curve high, and it's 1-0. He was struck out on a curve his first time up.
This is a shutdown inning, of course, for Beckett, and this is where the Phillies have to try not to let that happen.
Rollins is averaged down to 226 with the strikeout his last time up. Only 7 runs batted in. He hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities since moving into the leadoff spot with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. However, he's got 2 in scoring position, including that runner at third here. In fact, last night, Rollins was able to leg out that infield hit and picked up an RBI. It was his first RBI in a while.
He's got a shot at one here, but Beckett's off speeding him right now. Curveball, that looked like a changeup. No, this guy, you can't be looking for slow stuff from him. He'll throw it right by you.
Opposite way, Middlebrooks has it, looks Galvis back to third. He was playing right in that spot.
Well, we showed that's where he was. That was the only place in the infield where you're not going to get a run. And that was him. That was almost an emergency swing. It looked like on a fastball.
Monday, June 4th is the start of a 4-game series between the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 4th is the Cliff Lee bobblehead, compliments of Toyota. That's free to all fans. Thursday the 7th is a business person special, a Citizens Bank business person special. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for all 4 games of that series between the Phils and the Dodgers. And now it's Juan Pierre with runners in scoring position. Middlebrooks in on the grass at third.
Muntz picked him up a couple times this year. He has at least two run singles with 2 outs I can think of. He had one in San Diego, and he had one in Pittsburgh to knock in 4 runs.
These 2 guys won a world championship with the Florida Marlins back in 2003. With Pierre as the starting center fielder and Beckett as one of the starting pitchers. In fact, Beckett was the MVP of the 2003 World Series. Oh, and 2 the count. Line drive caught. He hit it right on the nose, and David Ortiz was in the right spot at the right time. Phillies get a couple base runners. They get an infield single and a double by Cliff Lee. They leave 2. We go to the 4th with the Phillies trailing at 5-0. All the brands and school supplies you need for your student or classroom. Ask who? At W.B. Mason. Well, hi, honey. 5-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. Cliff Lee has allowed 5 runs so far, including a 3-run home run to Jared Saltalamacchia. And now, as we start the fourth, he'll face Josh Beckett and then the top of the order. Beckett reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He tried to bunt, tried to sacrifice, but it was unsuccessful. He has hit 3 home runs during his career, 2 while a member of the Boston Red Sox. 0-2 the count.
Always been a good athlete. 97, he beat us there with the Cubs. Actually beat him there the very first game, knocked him out. That might have been the worst thing there in the world to do. And he came back, not only winning that MVP there, that ALCS, I believe he was MVP in the World Series too.
Well, he's down on strikes here, so 1 away. And now Michael Vilas will be the hitter. It's time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Well, Josh Beckett has, as we said, hit 3 home runs in his career. Here's one of them. This is at Citizens Bank Park against Brett Myers, and here's another one against Jay Happ.
Wow. That ball there, middle of the plate, he gets around on it.
Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Got to get one with the Marlins as well. Vilas is 2 for 2. He takes a breaking ball for strike.
You know, Beckett, one of those power pitchers, meaning that fastball, and you look at Verlander, a power pitcher.
But is he a power pitcher anymore?
Well, I mean, you get the ball up there. His reputation kind of precedes him because guys are going to go up there looking for that stuff like he threw in the 98 and in the early 2000s. But you'll have finesse type pitchers, and I think for me, Cliff Lee is more of a finesse pitcher. Even though decent fastball, he comes at you. Sometimes too many strikes to a fault, especially if he's not hitting his spots.
0-2 pitch outside, 1-2.
Guys like Jamie Moyer, you know, big difference. Those guys there, they have to be able to keep the ball down and keep the ball away.
See, I agree with you about Beckett. I think reputation is that he's like a Verlander, whereas Verlander still throws 98, 99, 100. Beckett, well, he reaches maybe 92, 93 now. Still very good, of course.
Yep. But usually, though, pitchers will back down after throwing that ball that hard. One of the guys that didn't know was actually Nolan Ryan. But you're right, Beckett now learning and knowing how to pitch. He doesn't have to give that maximum effort on that fastball every pitch where he's trying to throw the ball by you. Strasburg, I think, will go through that same thing.
Curveball hit to right field. And Hunter Pence comes in. And there are 2 outs. But I guess that's why somebody like, let's say, Justin Verlander, or you just mentioned Nolan Ryan. I mean, those guys are, you know, it's incredible what they're able to sustain during their career, because not a lot of guys could do that. Clemens could do that. He was able to sustain 95, 96, 97.
Yeah, definitely a power pitcher, could throw the ball by you, throw that ball almost right down the middle and get by because of the fact that they throw the ball so hard. Better have some movement, however, though, because you can't get away with it throughout the game, especially in your hitting counts.
Well, and I think that's that's one of the things that we've always talked about. Guys who, let's say Henry Rodriguez from the Washington Nationals, who throws 100 miles an hour, or Cashner from the Padres, who throws 100 miles an hour. You know, oftentimes it's straight.
Yeah, and when it is straight and in the hitting counts, you can bet those good hitters will be able to get to the ball.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Dustin Pedroia.
And mainly because you're only looking for that one pitch, something that is really that hard. It's where your hand-eye coordination really takes over for you to make contact to the ball. Also a challenge. Oh, yeah.
Little roller up third. Wigginton better hurry. And he does. Just in time on a good stretch by Mayberry. And it's the first 1-2-3 inning of the day for Cliff Lee. Man, did he need it? He needed that stretch. He needed the 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Shane Victorino will lead it off when we come back. Buy the quality plus Ford stores. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Honda, the really big sales event. Real deals, big inventory. Now at your Honda dealer. The Valley Forge Military Academy band was on hand today. In fact, some of the cadets from the Valley Forge Military Academy sung the national anthem. Today, all fans 14 and under that have come to the ballpark received the WB Mason tractor trailer. Pretty cool giveaway.
Yep.
So Victorino leads off the fourth and hits one down the first base line. It's a nice play by Big Papi, and Victorino beats Beckett to the bag. That's the third infield single of the day for the Phillies. Man, if you're the Red Sox, if you get a nice play like that from David Ortiz, you're wondering, how can we get this thing finished off? I wonder if Beckett's hurt.
Well, I know one thing. He didn't get over there as quick as he should have as that ball hit down the line. There's a good play you're talking about. You'll see Beckett come right into your pitcher. He's a little late. You can tell that. Trying to make a swipe tag there. Now, there's that stop there. He's going to kind of set himself. Great pitcher there with that dirt flying up. There it is again. He sets himself, makes a real good toss, but he's late. As he comes in, he tries to tag him. It looked like he almost tagged him there on the back, but when that ball's hit to the right side, that's why they tell all the pitchers, you got to get over there. You can't go over and look and then get over. You got to go over when that ball is first hit. You might have had a chance there, though. Good hustling by Victorino.
Well, Beckett was taking his time catching his breath out on the mound. It looks like he's okay to continue as Pence takes outside. It's 1-0. He's had back problems during his career. When he first came up in 2002 and then really splashed in 2003, he was a much thinner pitcher. He's big, he's strong. In fact, 2003 was when he faced you guys, the Cubs, in the playoffs in the division series.
Yeah, that's exactly when he ended up really striking us out. That's after, again, winning the first game. reason he ended up getting knocked out early in the game, so he was able to come back a lot earlier, and he finished up some games, and he was, boy, throwing the ball extremely well. Good breaking ball, fast balls, 90 plus.
Runner goes, pitch is taken for a strike. The throw by Saltalamacchia high, and Victorino has his 13th stolen base of the year.
Boy, both him and J-Roll, that's what you want to do. That's how you can really chip over. Good jump. As you can see him sliding in. I wish he would slide in more with the feet as opposed to sliding in there on his stomach or on his chest. Take away that injury when you're sliding there on your legs, not breaking your fingers and such.
Outside, 2-2 to Pence. Phillies need a base hit just to kind of bust it open, get on the board. They had a chance in the third. They had second and third with one out, and they couldn't score. Now they've got a runner at second and nobody out. Try to get some runs back against Beckett. Opposite way, caught by David Ortiz. Who's that guy over there?
In the right place at the right time. Hey, maybe all that weight he has lost has kind of paid off. I can tell you one thing. He's really feeling good about his game and about being able to play another 2 or 3 years. Take a look at it as he gets up a little bit. Not all that high, but Big Papi up to the task as he's getting ready to throw to second base. Victorino back.
Wiggins had grounded into a double play his last time up. It was a hot shot one hopper fielded by Middlebrooks. And Victorino chased back to second. So Wigginson's 0 for 1. Wigginson hits it toward third again. Middlebrooks has it. Didn't look Victorino back. Just assumed he would get there. 5-3 on the putout.
Well, just can't find a hole so far. Last 2 balls hit extremely hard. Can't guide it. All you can do is hit it. Glad he called timeout. Just way too long to wait you out like that. I mean, you want to have a little bit of movement. Don't want to be a statue when you're up there at the plate. Pitcher waits too long to throw it. You got to call timeout.
Heard you on the radio last night talking about John Mayberry, and David Ortiz mentioned something to you that he thinks Mayberry is too crouched over at the plate.
Said he could maximize his power by standing a little more straight up. Mentioned that he's almost taller than he is, and it's hard to really get leverage. Now, he's going to hit some balls out because he's a good athlete. But you can see there in taking the ball, he's right on his heels. And when you take a pitch, you got to be on the balls of your feet. You can't have good balance. It's one of the things for me that I see that he's doing wrong and has been for a while. But again, on this level, these guys are such good athletes. They're going to throw in some hits here or there.
There's a liner to right field. Adrian Gonzalez makes the catch. And Mayberry's retired. The Phils leave another one in scoring position, so they've left 3 in scoring position. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. On to the 5th, 5-zip Red Sox. Fifth inning, the Red Sox shutting out the Phillies. It'll be David Ortiz, Adrian Gonzalez, and Will Middlebrooks against Cliff Lee. You can visit the ballpark up close and personal with your group of 25 or more. Tours include visits to the dugout, Diamond and Hall of Fame clubs, and much more. Tours are available year-round. For information or to schedule a tour, see Ballpark Tours at Phillies.com. David Ortiz is 0 for 2. Struck out, lined out to shallow right field his last time up. And the first pitch over at the knees, it's 0-1.
One of the better hitters in the league and seems to be getting better with age, just looking at those numbers.
That ball again is scorched right at Freddie Galvis in the right spot. So what a way.
And the point too, though, I mean, you look at the balls that he hits, they're hit hard. They're like squared up. You know, he took a ball that was on the outside part of the plate. He comes in, Cliff, and he just hits a bullet to Galvis there that is playing right center. But when I'm talking about Mayberry, you can see the difference there in his crouch there with Mayberry a little bit, well, bent over. Everybody, though, has a different philosophy in terms of hitting. And I'm saying maximizing your strength by being able to stand a little taller like a Ortiz, like a Gonzalez. And maybe that ball that he hit to right field, instead of it being caught, he drive that ball over the wall or maybe on the wall because, again, you're going to use them legs as leverage. And I just think too many times when you've been over, especially the breaking ball, you know, you don't really see it as well. And this is coming from Ortiz. This is coming from his peers that they feel that he should maybe be up a little bit more.
Now, how hard is that for, let's say, Mayberry to take that advice or to even change in the middle season?
I think he takes it a little bit more from somebody that would be playing as opposed to like me or his dad or someone else, especially since he's starting to have a little bit of success. You know, he's a guy for me could hit 20, 25 home runs. I think it's all mental for me, and I know that he can do it because he is a good athlete.
Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, hitting those home runs last year, and again, obviously, it's physical and also mental that you want to be in that position because you feel you're able to hit and it feels good to you. a lot of times we're pitching to our kids or whatever, and they say, oh, that doesn't feel good. But the fact is, it's going to get you where you need to be, where it becomes easier to hit. That's all.
Middlebrooks doubled and scored his last time. Struck out in the first. Takes inside, 3-2. Out to Detroit, where the Pirates have taken a 2-1 lead over Detroit and Max Scherzer. Scherzer, though, has struck out 15 through 7 innings of work. But he's down 2-1.
That's where Cliff Lee wants to throw that fastball that's up and in. That pitch there, 91. Pitches that have been hit hard have been out over the plate, more near the belt area, or maybe a little bit lower than that. Can't get away with that.
Off the end of the bat toward the right field line. Backing up on it is Mayberry. Nice play over the shoulder. Side is retired. Lee has retired the Red Sox in order each of the last 2. He's retired 8 in a row. On to the bottom of the 5th. Freddie Galvis will start it off for the Phils. #1 comedy all this week for your chance to win a trip to Comic-Con in San Diego and meet Sheldon, Penny, and the rest of the gang. The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7 and 7:30 on PHL 17. The last of the 5th inning. Some of the youngsters here at the ballpark enjoying the entertainment in between innings.
That's great.
One of the great sights each and every Sunday is when the starting 9, head out to the positions with the Phillies players.
He is having so much fun.
How can nobody's looking at him?
And that's the good thing about it. It doesn't really matter for him. He's doing his thing out here.
Freddie Galvis leads it off, and he takes a strike. I was saying that one of the best sights is the starting 9 before each and every Sunday game, where the kids get to go out and they're randomly selected before each Sunday game.
Wow.
Kids get to go out to the positions and meet their favorite Philly player. It's pretty neat.
Oh, it is great, though, to be able to just be in the stands. Hey, you want to come out? You want to go to one of the bases in the outfield?
Elvis hit that one off his foot, and it's 1-2. Phils have a lot of that going on. Placido Polanco's not in the lineup again today. Paulie had a big a knee guard or guard on his knee. I don't even know if it was a knee guard. It looked like it was one of those guards that they wear on their elbow. During last night's ball game, because he fouled the ball off his knee. He even said today that the reason he's really not playing is not because of the knee. It's because he has a mild ankle sprain from the balls he fouled off his foot last week.
Wow.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And 1 away. Just the 3rd strikeout for Beckett.
Yeah, he is, though, under control. And I say that. A lot of the guys are off balance. Good curveball, however, right here. He gets Galvis.
Brian Schneider popped out to Josh Beckett his first time up. David Ortiz flips to Beckett covering. 2 outs.
I tell you, David looks pretty smooth over there for not playing. DHing most of the time.
Well, when David Ortiz was with the Minnesota Twins, he came up as a first baseman slash outfielder. He played a little outfield in the minor leagues and played first base with the Twins in the carpet at the Metrodome. But he took ground balls last week and has been taking them periodically. So Bobby Valentine could feel comfortable putting him out there in these National League cities. Adrian Gonzalez, who's only played 4 games in the outfield, while Ortiz was taking ground balls, he was taking fly balls. The only way this would work is if both were comfortable at the respective positions.
Right. Well, they didn't want to embarrass each other or the team. Bobby Valentine, the manager, trying to figure out a way to keep both those guys right there in the lineup. Gonzalez there playing the outfield. Hasn't really got hot. Once he does, boy, they'll be sizzling.
One of the reasons why they wanted to make sure it would work this weekend is because the Red Sox interleague schedule includes 3 in Miami and 3 in Chicago. So they won't be able to use the DH. So that would be 9 games that Bobby Valentine wouldn't have either Ortiz or Gonzalez. Lee went around. He's running to first. The ball never hit the dirt. Cliff thought it was in the dirt. Saltalamacchia looked at the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel. And Emmel said, So 1, 2, 3, 5th inning. 4 strikeouts now for Beckett. On to the 6th inning. The Red Sox up 5. Has reached another milestone. Over the span of 15 seasons, Placido Polanco has been a picture of consistency in the field, snagging 3 Gold Glove awards in 2 different positions. His defense has been second to his dependability at the plate. The above 300 career average hitter has now added a monumental 2,000th hit. And of course, he did it with a little style. This well-deserved curtain call is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, it's time for some old-time rock and roll, Sarge.
Yeah, I like the instruments that they're actually using. You got rocks up there.
Speaking of dancing, Sarge and the youngster both dancing to some old-time rock and roll.
Really?
Boy, Sarge.
It really is. Holy cow. Wow.
Sarge is feeling the music. What are you playing? The snare drum there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice finish.
Oh, gosh. Cameras are all over the place.
Wheels plays the air guitar every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets him caught on the camera.
Oh, boy.
Jared Saltalamacchia leads off the 6th. 3-run home run his last time up, struck out his first time up, and he lines that one foul. And it's 0-1. Well, Lee has settled in. Unfortunately, the Phillies offense hasn't mustered a whole lot against Josh Beckett.
Yeah, he threw a lot of early strikes, but more hittable strikes. Wind blowing out, guys getting that ball up into the wind. Ballpark's not going to hold it.
1-1 the count. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Nationals have taken the lead over the Orioles 5-3. Steven Strasburg has hit a home run. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Saltalamacchia. Phillies are in 5th place in the National League East. The Braves lead the way, 1.5 over Washington, 3.5 over Miami and New York, and the Phils are 4 games back.
Well, that's kind of like the saving grace there, only being 4 games back and still knowing that they haven't played their best ball, even though they won a few in a row.
Over toward third. That's a foul ball. Nice play by Wigginton. It's the third base umpire Gary Darling's call once it gets past the bag.
And it happened so quick, too. As a fielder, you have to go on and throw that ball and get it over to first base just in case he ends up saying fair. Don't have time to look.
Swing and a miss. Threw a 93-mile-an-hour fastball by him. So 1 away.
Yeah, fastball out of the zone. Now, we talked about that before, too. I mean, Cliff throws a lot of strikes, no question about it. Sometimes, however, though, in the wrong spot, wrong hitter, ball gets tattooed. And you got to give Boston some credit, though. They've been squaring up some balls here today.
Daniel Nava lined out to center his last time up, walked in the second. It's a kid who we first saw up at Fenway Park. He hit his first hit in his first at bat. First pitch was a grand slam against Joe Blanton. He skies this one to shallow right. The wind is swirling it around. Galvis makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. Nava this year wasn't even invited to spring training.
Wow. Makes it even sweeter for him to be able to be in the major league, and not just being there and being able to contribute.
Bobby Valentine didn't know anything about him until they called him up, but Red Sox fans knew something about him. Marlon Byrd, a single and a run scored in the second, lined out to second his last time up, and he takes down low, 1-0.
Actually, talking with Bobby Valentine, this is really the only job he wanted. He wanted to be here in Boston. Obviously, he would have taken, you would think, a job in Los Angeles, but he wanted this ball job bad.
Why did he want this one?
Well, he thought, in particular, that it was a good fit for him. You know, kind of veteran players. They've had a reputation of winning, have already won. So he thought it was going to be really a good fit. Although being away from it for 10 years, he kind of found out that, hey, the game has changed a little bit, and particularly the players.
Bobby is a New Englander. He was born in Connecticut, still lives in Connecticut.
Well, he does say what's on his mind. One of the few, and he will do it his way.
Fly ball toward the right field line again. Galvis in foul territory, calls everybody off. Cliff Lee has retired 11 in a row. 11 in a row sent down by Cliff Lee, plus some exuberance from that fan off the tip. Does he have it? Yes, he does. Local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Instant Millions, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Phillies down 5-0 here at Citizens Bank Park. Another capacity crowd. Looking for a little offense against Josh Beckett. It's Jimmy Rollins, Juan Pierre, and Shane Victorino, the top of the order up for the Phils. Beckett came in with a 4.18 earned run average against the Phillies for his career. And a 6.52 ERA here at the ballpark. He was able to get Rollins looking on strikes in the first. Rollins hit one sharply to third his last time up. And he's 0 for 2.
Sometimes when you look at Jimmy Rollins' swing, you wonder whether or not he's actually seeing the ball the way that he should. Swings at a lot of balls that are soft, that are down and in. His bread and butter, however, is that fastball, and not up, more down than up.
You surprised it's taken him this long to get going?
Absolutely. I'm sure he's surprised that it's taken him this long, and he hasn't really gotten going the way he should, or the way that we're accustomed to seeing him.
Well, he's aboard now to start the 6th. First walk issued by Beckett. Tuesday, June 19th is the start of a series against the Colorado Rockies. Maybe the fans coming to the yard can see Jamie Moyer pitch in a Colorado uniform. The 19th is Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark. The 21st is the MLB Network Drawstring Backpack, free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased at Phillies.com. Rockies are currently in 4th place in their division. They've lost 7 of 10. And they're 11.5 games back.
That would be great. I'd love to see Jamie Moyer coming back here and pitch. Might have a chance to do a couple of interviews with him. What do you think?
You going to ask him?
Sure I will. He's turned me down before. Oh, boy.
You of all people, Sarge. You can't turn you down.
He said he didn't hear me. He's only screaming it out.
Strike one to Pierre, who's 0 for 2. He hit it hard his last time up. Hit it hard his first time up.
Yeah, that has happened, though, on a couple of occasions. Being turned down from interviews.
Like President.
No, well, yeah. Yeah, he did turn us down, didn't he?
Turn us down. Back toward the middle. Beckett's got it. That could be 2. There's 1. And they hurry the throw in time to turn the double play. Double play has been an issue for the Phils this series. Last night it was an issue.
Huge.
And that's the second double play in today's game.
Probably one of the only places that you could get Juan Pierre, unless it's almost right over the bag for a double play.
Victorino reached on an infield single his first time up. David Ortiz made a pretty good play at first, but he beat Josh Beckett to the bag. And that's out of play. No balls and 1 strike.
Doesn't appear that Beckett is really having that much trouble as far as in his energy. Doesn't appear to be giving up that much energy. taking his time. It's been a great day here to be able to pitch and hit.
You got the bullpen moving around a little bit. Vicente Padilla, Franklin Morales popped him up. Aviles, the shortstop, backpedals into shallow left center. Phillies go down quietly here in the 6th inning. So Beckett has allowed just an infield single in the last 3 innings. We move to the 7th inning. Beckett will lead it off when we get back.
Run in the first, run in the second, a 3-run home run by Jared Saltalamacchia in the 3rd inning, and that's it. Josh Beckett's done a great job front running with it. Phillies have had some men on base. They hit some bullets right at people, but to his credit, he hasn't given up anything. And you see they're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position off last night when they were just terrible in that game.
Meanwhile, Cliff Lee has retired 11 consecutive batters since the home run by Saltalamacchia in the 3rd. So here's Beckett. It's no balls and 1 strike to him. And Beckett hits one to center field. It's deep, going back toward the wall and off the wall above the State Farm sign. Excuse me. Beckett has a long single.
It's the longest single you'll ever see. That's unbelievable. Now Beckett has hit some major league home runs too. He's hit 3, including 2 of them here. And you know, the wind picked that thing up. He hit it well, and then it got up in that jet stream, which we haven't seen since Saltalamacchia. Cliff Lee has been staying away from the barrels since that home run, but he hit one there, and that thing just below the railing out above the State Farm sign. Well over 400, well, not well over, but about 400
about
feet
400,
away.
yeah. So runner at first. Here's Aviles. It was 2 for 3. Fouls it away. No balls and 1 strike.
And Beckett, you know, either he figured that's a home run, or, you know, I got a 5-run lead, and I'm not going to run real hard right now, because if you ever should be at second base on a ball, that one should be at second base.
Cliff Lee would be at second base.
Oh, yeah.
Another foul. It's 0-2. Back towards second base. Galvis has it. He'll chase Beckett and now throw to first. Gets the runner at first. Beckett's in a rundown. Doesn't amount to much of a rundown. John Mayberry tracks him down. Well, that's a double play. 4-3 of the double play.
Beckett acted like a baseball player early in the game when he made that unbelievable play on the pop-up, but you know he's not going to run the bases right now. That's kind of sad to watch.
Yeah.
Sorry, at any level, especially this one. You know, maybe there's something wrong with him too. Evidently, that play at first base is a little gimpy on, I guess. But you know, Freddie does a great job here. He knows, well, all right, I got the out at first, and I got this guy so far back that we're going to get him in a rundown. But there isn't even a rundown. He just says, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go to the dugout. I don't know. That's not good.
Here's Dustin Pedroia takes a strike. Well, certain guys, they go to the beat of their own drum. It's unfortunate sometimes.
Well, that's just enough.
Pedroia today is 0 for 3. Strikeout, a couple of groundouts. Check swing, it's 0-2. Jake Diekman is up in the pen for the Phillies.
Well, this will be Cliff Lee's last inning. Over 100 pitches, coming up on what, 110.
That is number 110 right there.
Yeah, ball strike ratio is good. Just early in the game, they hit some balls really hard off them. Wind's blowing like crazy to left and left center, and they got him up in the wind, hit a couple homers. Then took a 5-0 lead, and Beckett shut down the Phillies. That's your game today.
Line drive right over the head of Lee. Head into center for Pedroia. It's his first hit of the day, second hit of the series.
I wonder if you think about Diekman now to just watch him pitch to Ortiz, but no, they're not going to just use him in this inning, it looks like. David Ortiz has been a little frustrated today by the Phillies defense.
He's hit two line drives right at Freddie Galvis, where Freddie's playing right there.
You haven't found him yet, right? There he is. Right there.
A liner to center field, and Shane makes the grab. So Ortiz with some topspin is the final out here in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. Time to stretch here at the ballpark, with the Red Sox leading it 5-0. The answer. Here you go, Wheels. One more time. We'll give it to you. The question: on July 24th, 1995, the Phillies traded Dave Hollins to the Red Sox for what player?
I think I have a great guess here, but I'm wrong.
How do you know?
Well, because I think it's around the same era.
Okay. What's your guess?
Lee Tinsley, which
Lee
is a great
Tinsley
guess,
is
but
a
it's
great
wrong.
guess, but it's incorrect.
Who is it?
This guy was much bigger than Lee Tinsley.
Oh, hard hitting.
Mark Whitten. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
I'm going to look that up because Lee Tinsley was right around the same time as Mark Whitten.
Bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-0. Red Sox on top. Cliff Lee, his day is most likely done. Hunter Pence, Ty Wigginton, John Mayberry are due up. Let's bring on these lucky fans for today's Citizen 7 or HC prize pack, courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Cliff Lee today goes 7 innings. He allows 9 hits and 5 runs. The big blow was the 3-run home run by Jared Saltalamacchia. And although he gave up 5, his offense hasn't mustered a whole lot against Josh Beckett. Some changes. Adrian Gonzalez comes in from right field to play first base. And the new right fielder is Che Xuan Lin. I don't think it's the same kind of insanity they have in New York with Jeremy Lin.
Right.
But
not yet.
In Taiwan, they're probably having a little insanity.
Sure.
He is the 8th major leaguer from Taiwan to appear in a ball game. Hunter Pence will start it off here in the 7th. He's 1 for 2. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Pence knocks the mask off of Saltalamacchia. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Saltalamacchia, that old-fashioned, just regular batting helmet there. And a lot of catchers used to wear that, and then, you know, they changed it around. They took the brim off it, and then just made it into a helmet. But that was a norm for a while.
So the umpires have not gone to the hard hats. They still wear the caps underneath their mask, which is kind of odd that not more have started to wear helmets.
Yeah, not many of them wear that hockey style mask either, which would give them more protection that way.
Ryan Schneider has that hockey style mask. Tim Welke, one of the umpires who does. So does Gary Cederstrom.
Can we kid around about a 55-footer? That was a 55-foot breaking ball. I'm thinking way out in front of the plate. Saltalamacchia sells out and does a great job. So, well, why would you do that? Well, if he swings at it, you know, he gets past you, he's at first base on a strikeout. So, you know, he knows I'm going to get after it with 2 strikes and do everything I can to block it. Great job.
Curveball chopped back toward the middle. Pedroia gets to it, not in time. Another infield hit for the Phillies.
Yeah, they've had 3 of them today. Just haven't been able to do anything with them yet to this point. Well, Phillies picked David Ortiz a couple times today, but he was able to do that too. That ball is smoked by Juan Pierre with 2 men on base right at Big Papi. And then Hunter Pence hits one right at him there. Shane Victorino had been at first base. He stole second, so Big Papi was able to move off. If he was still at first, that's a hit.
That's our Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Ty Wigginton hit the ball hard his first time up. It wound up being a 5-4-3 double play.
Yeah, they've hit a lot of balls hard here this afternoon, but, you know, and these infield hits, they just haven't been able to do anything with Beckett. Beckett's credit, he works out of trouble when he has to.
Topper back toward the box.
I think Beckett, when he first came up, like guys with great stuff, he tried to strike everybody out. That was his thing. And now, you know, he's more of a pitcher. And yeah, he has something wrong with him right now. Here comes Valentine out with a trainer. That's one of the reasons why he didn't run the bases. So you got to give him a little pass on it.
Well, back when Victorino was up his last time, that was in the 4th. Beckett was trying to cover first. He got himself tangled up on the throw from David Ortiz and was very slow to go back. Now, he had a lat injury earlier this year, which led to a huge controversy in Boston. because the day after sustaining the lat injury, he played golf on an off day. And folks found out about it, and it didn't sit too well with the fans in Boston. And it led to the comment, we get 18 off days a year. I think we deserve a little time to ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier today. The sensor doesn't go off sometimes. But in this case, it looks like he's really trying to stay out there. You know, and that's why he was doing that on the basis. But it just looks so bad.
Here's Mayberry, who's 0 for 2. And John takes a curve for a strike. It's 0-1.
Get back to trying to strike everybody out. You know, that's what happens when you come up. Great stuff like that, overpowering everybody in high school and the minor leagues. Get to the big leagues, do it again. And then all of a sudden you look up, you've got 100 and some pitches in 6 innings. Now it looks like he's more inclined to let him hit it, let my defense make the plays, and let me stay in the game longer. And that's just maturation process for a pitcher. See, he could make a hitter look foolish like that at will when he first came up with that curveball, because he threw so hard.
About to throw his 80th pitch of the day.
Yeah, it's the 7th inning. He's still out there. Starting to get overcast now. Nice weather, supposed to disappear for a few days there. Is that whiff percentage. He still gets swings and misses. Number 1 on their staff.
Mayberry stays alive. It remains 1-2. Galvis is on deck. Stayed in the stands somehow. The young lady held on to his feet.
I'll keep him in the yard. More ways than one. Really been throwing Mayberry a lot of curveballs.
Fastball swung on and missed. He may have been looking curveball. 2 outs here in the 7th. Only the 5th strikeout for Beckett. And Freddie Galvis will be the hitter.
Yeah, a lot of curveballs today. And you know, it's really tough to look for something from Beckett. He still can get to 92, 3, 4. And that one was 93. Threw it right by him.
In the air down the right field line. It's going to hook foul and out of play.
Tough day for the Phillies to lose a game. If they do, the whole division's winning.
In the National League, it looks like it's having a pretty good day in most quadrants of interleague play. Miami is leading Cleveland. The Reds on top of the Yankees. The Mets on top of the Blue Jays. Atlanta over Tampa right now in the 7th. Arizona over Kansas City. Washington over Baltimore. Milwaukee over Minnesota.
Whole division got wiped out last night. yesterday and last night.
Still record-wise the best division in the National League. The Phillies at 21-20 in 5th place. You look around the rest of the National League, only 2 other teams outside the division who are not leading their respective divisions are above 500. So 4 total, whereas there are 5 total in the National League East. Galvis runs the count even, 2-2. The other part of it too is that the Phillies still haven't found their rhythm here at home. Part of that was the last homestand when they were 4-4, but they're just 500 here at Citizens Bank Park. Galvis pulls it over toward Pedroia, who settles down to a knee to gather it up. Phillies leave one in scoring position. We've played 7. Everybody needs a little help. Look at him. They're holding on to his ankles. Where is it? There it is. We got a souvenir, folks, as we go to the 8th inning. Brought to you by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Nissan's National 10 event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Rogue. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. Phillies are being shut out 5-0 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Still 2 at-bats left. Looks like they'll continue to hit against Josh Beckett, who has 14 straight scoreless innings. There's been a home run out to that area today by the Red Sox. Jared Saltalamacchia. Jake Diekman will take over for Cliff Lee. Lee went 7, allowed 9 hits and 5 runs, but only 2 hits since the 3rd. And Diekman in his 3rd ball game. His first pitch to Gonzalez outside. It's 1-0.
He couldn't get his fastball over the other night in Chicago, and then they wouldn't swing at his breaking ball. There's Cliff Lee, who struggled through the first 3, got it under control, but the Phillies haven't been able to do anything with Beckett, so he's on the hook again.
Gonzalez fights it off down the left field line.
And he couldn't get his fastball over the other night, so as a result, he's throwing that breaking ball that he had some luck with, but they wouldn't chase it.
Rich Doobie said he thought that the game got too quick for Jake Diekman in Chicago, where he wasn't slowing himself down too much and was just rushing. May have gotten you know, his body, his mechanics were off, and that was causing him to miss. Jake said kind of the same thing. He said that you know, it was too fast. His body was too fast, and his arm was lagging. Now, right there, he was ahead 1-2, and he's able to throw the slider, and Gonzalez unable to catch up to it.
Well, that's the difference. You know, when you get ahead and you have as good a breaking ball as he evidently has come up with now, especially with a left-handed hitter, they're going to chase it. But when you're behind in the count, they won't swing at it. Or they shouldn't.
Well, Rich Doobie did say the other day, he said he's going to be fine. He said he obviously still needs some seasoning. He said every kid who's up for the first week or two of his career is going to need some seasoning.
Doobie still wants to be his agent. He still likes him.
Likes him a lot.
Yeah.
It's 0-2 to Will Middlebrooks.
It's hard up here. You know, it's a very different game when you get up here from the minor leagues. You know, everybody talking about, well, he's doing great at AA or AAA. Doesn't mean a thing. It is a big, big difference between that level when you get here and the speed of the game up here.
Oh, another strikeout for Diekman.
And I think that's a great point you're making, Tom, about what Rich Doobie said about the speed of the game got him a little bit, because the hitter you hear hitters talk about all the time. You got to slow things down, and when you're able to do that, then you can be effective. That fastball comes out of his hand at kind of a funny angle. Now you think right-handed hitters would pick him up pretty good, but he has a little zip on it too, and some sink to it.
Here's Jared Saltalamacchia, who was last time up, which would be the second time up, hit a 3-run home run. That is the longest home run for a Red Sox player since 2007. It was 446 feet. The one before that was longer was Willie Mopena in 2007. That was 470.
470?
Yeah.
Whew. Well, that one he hit earlier in the game was really something to see. Not many people have their beers spilled out there by baseballs in the course of a game. Maybe something else, but they don't have their beverages disrupted like this.
Or your camera angle knocked around a little bit, like Bernie did out in center field with that ball.
I thought Bernie was going to reach out and catch it.
Yeah,
he's so athletic. I thought he had a shot at it. No, he's one of more athletic cameramen.
Swing and a miss, and he just struck out the side. Pretty nice comeback for Jake Diekman after his outing at Wrigley Field. A 1-2-3 eighth inning. An athlete on the mound, an athlete out in center field handling that camera for our telecast. That a boy, Bernie. On 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the eighth inning. Bottom of the order is due up. It's now time for our Liberty Mutual defensive play of the game.
Yeah, before Josh Beckett got banged up at first base a little bit, look at this athletic play. This is when he could still run. Saltalamacchia lost that ball in the sun, and then all of a sudden you could hear somebody yell, "I got it." Maybe that was Beckett.
It was Beckett.
What a play he made there.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Well, Beckett's still out there as we start the 8th. He's retired. He's gone 14 consecutive scoreless innings.
Yeah, they're going to have Andrew Miller up as the inning begins, just in case. They a lot of guys. They've gone through some bullpen guys in this series.
It'll be Brian Schneider, and then the pitcher spot. It looks like it's Pete Orr who's out on the on-deck circle. There's Rich Hill who's now up.
Yeah, Miller was up earlier, and that's Hill. You wouldn't think they could use Aceves today. He's been, you know, their closer lately, but he pitched a lot last night.
Schneider's 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out once. He's popped out. We just saw that play. Fly ball to center field. Marlon Byrd hovers in. There's Chad Qualls with Mick Billmeyer. Looks like Chad will pitch the 9th inning for the Phillies. Pete Orr of the year, a .278 hitter.
Well, this
he has 10 hits and 36 at-bats.
Excuse me, Tom. This has to be really encouraging for the Red Sox. After what happened to Beckett after Golfgate, and they come back out and pitch these 2 games in a row, help get their pitching under control a little bit.
There's a base hit for Orr going down toward the wall. Lynn gets the throw in, but Orr has a double. It's the 13th extra base hit. It should be 7th extra base hit for the Phillies in this series.
And they had 2 now. 2 extra base hits since the home run by Galvis in the 4th inning last night, because they threw up a singles brigade barrage last night. One after another. It was one of the reasons why they had trouble scoring.
Now Rollins 0 for 2. Third baseman Middlebrooks off the line even with the bag, and the first pitch a strike to Jimmy.
Vicente Padilla always had a rubber arm, and he's up again. Just in case. It's hard to believe after all the pitches he threw last night, including those eephus curveballs that he used to have Larry Boa howling at the moon when he'd throw them. Oh, he hated those.
I don't think Bobby Valentine likes them either.
Could you?
Other way, under the glove of Middlebrooks into left field. Orr had a hold, so he'll stop at third. Rollins with a single the other way. It's first and third with 1 out. And for the second time today, just the second time today, the Phillies have a runner at third.
Yeah, they had Middlebrooks playing up in case Jimmy bunts, and that's one of the things you can do. Just the threat of a bunt. Look where the third baseman is. So now the ball goes over here and he can't get to it. You know, you're playing back in a normal position. That's an easy ground ball. Step to your right, throw him out. But with the threat of a bunt, he's got to play out.
Now if Pierre hits the ball where he hit it in the third, it'll be a base hit because Gonzalez is holding the runner on.
Right.
Here comes Bobby Valentine.
I'm going to come get Beckett now. You know, Beckett is a little bit banged up evidently with that play at first base. Did something, and he's pitched really well. But Bobby Valentine has seen this ball flying out of here early in the game and knows you can get right back in this with a long ball. I'll see if he's going to get him, or he's just going to let him talk him into it, that he's all right. He's going to let him go for a while.
Bobby Valentine making his departure off the mound. He used to do a little skip, didn't he, when he went over to the dugout every time he left the mound?
I don't know. I used to try not to watch.
He was ejected from the game the other night. highlights all around the country are being played. They said he didn't return with a disguise.
Looked like he had a pogo stick down there. He kept jumping up in the air.
1-0 the count to Pierre. Make it 2-0.
Yeah, no disguise this time. My sensor went off the other night. I was going to say that. I thought, you know, why go back to that?
But it was at the Mets. He was ejected one time. He came back with a disguise and sat in the dugout.
Yeah, I think he regrets doing that.
2-0 pitch coming to Pierre. Fly ball left field. That should score. Or Nava is under it. He'll make the catch. The throw goes to the cutoff man. It probably should have gone to second. Rollins didn't go to second until now as the ball gets away. It's a sacrifice fly. It's a 5-1 ball game.
Hey, no reason that runner should be in scoring position on a ball like that. They did not do a good job. I mean, they got what they wanted there. They gave up a run for an out in the 8th inning.
So sac fly E7.
They were very happy with that. And then Tom said this easily could have gone to second because there's no way you're going to throw him out at the plate there. Shouldn't even think about. He shouldn't even think about a play there. Jimmy has to be careful there. If he were to tag or something, start running, then they cut it off, throw him out.
Well, he had started, then he stopped and
right.
started going back, and then was able to get to second on the errant throw. So
yeah, he's got to stay at first base, basically. You know.
Here's Victorino, who takes low, 1-0.
When you have a big lead like that, you're not going to throw the guy out at the plate. You don't even care about it. You're just happy if traded an out for a run there. You just get the ball back into the middle of the diamond.
So Pete Orr scores the Phil's first run of the afternoon.
Get another cheap one here. You know, our cheap one here right now with 2 outs. You never know.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Miami has hung on and defeated the Indians 5-3. Greg Dobbs 3 hits, an RBI, runs scored.
He's laboring right now. You think one more hit? This is it?
I would think so. But D is the only one throwing right now in the pen, and that's because Pence is up next. .92-93 is where he's been most of the day. He topped out at 93 his last outing. He's on that same pace today. There's Padilla. Hill has stopped throwing. He's behind Vicente Padilla. Three and 1 the count. And ball 4. So first and second with 2 outs. And Bobby Valentine is seated up. That's going to be it for Josh Beckett. The assumption is that Vicente Padilla will take over. Second trip to the mound. We've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Josh Beckett goes 7 2/3 this afternoon. So far he's allowed 1 run. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. Vicente Padilla is coming in. We'll tell you about him when we return. Pirates those first two games following the ball game. Fireworks presented by Xfinity. Thursday the 28th is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Order your tickets now by heading to Phillies.com.
Here's a shot you hope for in the game. Have a chance to get back into that wind howling out still to left and left center. Power hitter up in Hunter Pence. Home run here. It's a one-run game. Never know.
Pence will face Vicente Padilla. Padilla last night allowed 4 hits in an inning and a third. He allowed just 1 run because the center fielder saved him on a diving play. So 2 on, 2 outs for Pence.
He threw Pence one of those ephus hooks last night and struck him out with it.
16th ball game for Padilla. 1-0, a 5.71 earned run average.
He's been around a long time. Saw him a little bit before the game. You know, his English is so much better. Talk to him now, and you know, I think he's just happy to still be pitching in the big leagues.
That pitch was better than the first one. Both are called strikes. It's 0-2. Feels like the Phillies have threatened in almost every inning in this series.
Seems like it. He's throwing fastballs, trying to throw fastballs away. Saying you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me the other way.
One ball, 2 strikes the count.
Have to think they're going to stay away from that big old 55-foot hook or 55-mile-per-hour hook.
Yeah, but every time you think that, he goes up there and loops it in there.
Well, how can I sit here and try and think along with him? Nobody ever could before.
Padilla was acquired by the Phils in 2000. And that Kurt Schilling deal from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Going back then, he had an unbelievable arm. Electric stuff. Really couldn't command it, and you know, he was very, very young at the time, and you know, emotionally, and he had a lot of problems trying to deal with the big leagues.
He won 14 games 2 different times for the Phillies at 0-2 and 0-3. The 2-2 to Pence. Low ball 3. So 3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be moving.
He wouldn't do it here, would he?
He might do it here. He might. I can't believe nobody's convinced him not to do it ever again.
Oh, they've tried.
Outside ball 4. The bases are now loaded, so the tying run is coming to the plate. It's Ty Wigginton.
Josh Beckett was really good here today. And his defense helped him with a couple plays. Started the game with a backdoor curveball for a strikeout. Another breaking ball for a strikeout. Curveball again. 2 fastball, curveball, changeup. And there's one of those plays right there by Middlebrook. He made a really good play. And this is a tremendous effort there by Josh Beckett. Really an athletic play when the sun was shining brightly and his catcher lost it in the sun.
So Wigginton up with the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the 8th. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
But he always had that running, tailing type fastball, and that's what he's throwing right now. He's running it back on these right-handed hitters, trying to run it back over the plate. We'll see him run right in the middle.
Chopper foul. And it's 0-2. 6 for 27 against Padilla in his career.
Padilla pitched in playoff games against the Phillies for the Dodgers a few years ago. One good one, one bad one.
Inside. They appeal, or they wanted to appeal, and the home plate umpire Paul Emmel says, opposite way, foul.
Just have not been able to get a big hit the last 2 games. I'm trying to do it now with 2 outs.
Offense hasn't been a problem up until this series, really. They've been averaging over 5 runs per game here in May. They're 5 for 25 with runners in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2.
Everything is away, or he's trying to throw it away. I think anything in is a mistake.
Runners lead off, good speed all the way around. Over to second base. Pedroia to his right a step, and he throws out Wigginton. The Phillies leave the bases loaded. They do get a run. It's charged to the line of Josh Beckett, but Vicente Padilla comes on, walks one, gets another, the ground out. We go to the 9th with the Phils down by 4. Ninth inning here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils had the bases loaded in 2 outs. Were able to muster just 1 run. So now Chad Qualls will try to keep this at a 4-run deficit and give the Phils one last chance in their part of the 9th. Qualls in his 18th game, 1-1, a 4.50 earned run average. And he'll face Daniel Nava, Marlon Byrd, and the pitcher spot. John Clark and Mike Missinelli will break down today's matchup with all the highlights, and head over to PHL 17's Facebook page to ask the guys your questions about the Phils. It's the Phils postgame show. It's next, live from Sugar House Casino.
Well, there he is. There's Aceves up after last night.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe just loosening up to see if he's available.
Well, the other day when the Red Sox beat the Rays in the final game of that series, Bobby Valentine said that he put Aceves in for more than one inning because he felt like it was a win they had to have.
Right.
They needed to have that victory, and everybody felt that way. I thought after an inning in the third last night that they might just let somebody else try the ninth and bring him in if they have to.
That's what we said last inning, that we're probably not going to see Aceves today.
0-1 the count to Nava. He's 0 for 2. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Padilla danced through that inning. Got that final out.
And his spot is due up third. Nick Punto will pinch hit for him.
Yep. So it would appear. Well, we'll see. They've had guys warming up out there all afternoon. A couple of left-handers. In case the Phillies had made a move with Fontenot in that inning, they had left-handers heated up and ready to go. Miller and Hill.
Left center field. Pierre is over. And at the edge of the track puts it away. So 1 out. Bird is up. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, which the bullpen did the last inning, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving all your favorite sports all year long.
Cliff Lee did it, three innings in a row after he struggled through the first 3.
It's the first time in a while that Cliff's been hit. And he allowed the home run in the first, and then the 3-run home run in the third.
He just looked like he was in the middle of the plate a little bit in the first few innings and then found it, but had given up 5 runs at that point. The 3-run homer was huge.
Two and 1 the count to Bird. Marlin, when he came up with the Phillies, as that young lady receives the ball from the ball girl down the left field line, Marlin came up with the Phillies. I think a lot of folks thought that he had every chance to be a 20 guy at least, if not more, because of his just flat speed and his power. He's had a couple of good years, but not exactly what everybody anticipated. So he's done. Nick Punto will be the hitter. Punto just 135 this year with no homers and 3 runs batted in. I thought he'd hit more this year for the Red Sox. You know, just 135. I know he hasn't had a lot of at bats, just 37.
Well, he was really a good extra man for the Cardinals last year and played regularly at times through some of their injuries. Nick's a valuable guy to have in a ball club, so he'll help him as the season goes along.
It's tough for the American League, though, for a bench guy to get some at bats. You know, last year you see where he was and where he is now in the National League with double switches and everything like that. A guy like Nick Punto is very valuable. American League, you know, there's not a lot of opportunities to do double switches, although I think Bobby Valentine does it a little bit more than other managers, just because of his National League roots.
And you just don't have to do it in the American League without the DH, because you don't have to worry about. Normally, your DH, you're double switching to get away from the pitcher spot.
It's 1-2 to Punto.
That Qualls could really use a clean inning.
A peek at the out-of-town scoreboard. We go to Tampa, where the Braves have finished off the Rays 2-0. Tim Hudson, 7 2/3. Tampa began the day 2 games behind the Orioles, who are trailing in their game against the Nationals. Now there's ball 4 to Punto. 2-out walk. And Aviles will bat for the 5th time today. Braves, meanwhile, are now 26-16, so they're 10 games over 500. And their 26 wins gives them the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball, behind the Orioles and the Dodgers. Aviles today is 2 for 4. He homered his first time up, singled in the second, drove in a run. Fly to right, hit into a double play. Slider for strike 2 on the inside corner. One part of the game that's been really good this series for the Phillies has been the bullpen. Little check swing, ground ball to second to his left, Galvis. The side is retired. Only 1 run allowed by the Phillies bullpen in these 3 games. They've had to work these last couple. We go to the bottom of the 9th. One last chance for the Phillies. try to get back into this ball game against the Red Sox closer. We'll tell you about him in a second. It's time now for our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Well, the first inning, Micah Phillies started off the ball game just like he started off yesterday's game. A solo home run, the second time in his career that he's done that. And then in the third inning, well, this was a long one. This one was 446 feet off the bat of Jared Saltalamacchia, a 3-run home run. And that's basically been the offense for the Red Sox today. Our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Alfredo Aceves will come in to pitch for the Red Sox.
Haven't seen many out there since this ballpark opened.
Aceves in his 19th game now, 0-1, a 4.91 earned run average.
It's amazing they're using him again. It's not even a save. Technical. But, you know, we talk all the time in these smaller ballparks, wind blowing out like this, a lot of times managers will go, hey, four runs is a save. It's not in the scorebook. I mean, not on the stats, but as far as I'm concerned, it is.
Red Sox after this game will head right to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Maybe the thought is, let's try to finish this one off when we play the first place team. We can gain a game on them because they're trailing right now. I don't know. Maybe it's also that although the bullpen's been good lately for the Red Sox, I feel like this guy gives him the best chance. Gonzalez flips to Aceves cover.
He can run his fastball. Watching him on TV last night, he really has movement on that thing. He runs it in on right-handed hitters, and that's what he just looked like he just did there. Just ran it in on his thumbs. Got a really live arm.
Freddie Galvis will be the hitter. Carlos Ruiz is out of the on-deck circle to pitch hit for Brian Schneider. Freddie was taken all the way. He was heading out of the box as the pitch arrived, and it's 0-1.
I guess this guy just needs another day's work. That's all. Still wearing his spring training number.
He wore that, I think, with the Yankees too. I read a story where he wears that in honor of Dennis Rodman, basketball player who wore 91.
It's quite a guy to idolize.
Strikeout, 2 outs. Well, everybody has their own quirks, really.
Yeah. That was a heck of a changeup he just threw him right there.
Here comes Carlos Ruiz. There's tomorrow's starter, Kyle Kendrick. He'll try to get the Phillies back on track as he will face the Washington Nationals. It'll be Kendrick against Gio Gonzalez. Game time is at 7:05. We'll be on the air on Comcast Sportsnet at 7 o'clock. Carlos Ruiz, a pinch hitter now for the Phils. His average at .358, 7 homers, 29 runs batted in. And he chops one toward the middle, surrounded by Pedroia, and the Red Sox have taken 2 of 3 from the Phillies this weekend as they win today 5-1. Well, after getting 5 runs in the first 3 innings this afternoon, this was a fairly easy ball game, it seemed, for Micah Phillies, Josh Beckett, Jared Saltalamacchia, and the Red Sox as they cruise to an easy victory over the Phillies. Aceves, who closed out yesterday's game, closes out this one. Time now for some highlights of our Chevrolet player of the game. Who is it? Josh Beckett.
Yeah, it's got to be Josh Beckett. Last year, when Lee and Beckett teamed up here, Phillies beat them 5-0. Well, almost the same score today, 5-1. Beckett got an early lead, and he front ran really well. His defense helped him. Phillies did hit some hard, but Beckett did a heck of a job, and look at him coming in making that play on that pop-up. Even though it's in foul ground, he gets the out on it because his catcher didn't see it in the sunshine. He's our Chevrolet player of the game.
So the Phils lose today 5-1. They drop 2 of 3 to the Red Sox in interleague play. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.